Hi, mates. JL Scott Fishing and Eats. Got it. Beat the rain. Beat the rain. Hazy, hazy, hazy on the Potomac River today, mates. Thank you, Canada. But I had a little conversation at the ramp with a follower of the channel, and he was like, "What are you doing, Jay? What are you doing here? Why aren't you fishing for smallmouth?" So busted. But had a good reason. And here's a reason for everyone out there who, all the guys that have fished from the back of the boat. Whenever you have fished from the back of the boat, a club tournament, little series, potluck, pickup luck at the ramp, jackpot event, or BFL, or a bass event. So there's an event coming up in September with MLF, okay, on the Potomac River. I think it's Toyota Series. And kind of have to be prepared for that. You kind of have to get in the real mindset. People ask me a lot of time about my resource. I do a lot of stuff on the YouTube channel about resources, things winning off the water. What does that really mean? What does it mean winning off the water? It means doing all the things off the water that you can do that are going to make you a better angler on the water. And one of those things is actually recognizing your inefficiencies, right? And one of those inefficiencies always comes to a forefront when you're a co-angler, because as a co-angler, you have no control. Zero control. Okay? And a lot of people, a lot of top anglers, okay, and really people I respect, are about control. You can tell how organized they are, how neat they are, how clean everything is on their boat, their truck, everything. That says a lot. Now, not everybody's like that, but that says a lot about those guys. Those guys are about control. And guess what? Most of those guys never fished as co-anglers on any tier at a professional level. Okay? Because okay? You have to be able to relinquish control to someone else to be successful, in my opinion, on the back of the boat. And here's why. I can go out right now, doesn't matter, after the spawn, post-spawn, summer, I can go out myself on pretty much any day on the Potomac, tidal Potomac fishery, and catch 12 to 15 pounds. 12 to 13, 13 to 15, a good day. Really good day, okay? And most of the people that I know can do that. Not competitive anglers, just people that fish all the time. Maybe they fish at clubs, but they don't fish in these, big time series, right? That's not going to win an event, right? It's not going to win an event at a MLF event, a Toyota Tackle Warehouse, a Toyota Series event. Probably ain't going to win BFL. Probably need 18, 16, 17, 18, maybe even 20 to win, win. But you do pretty well in a field of 100, but, as a co-angler, it's completely different. Because you're not in control of the situation. You've got to go to where your boater, he has in his head his plan of the day. Not yours, his. So the biggest question is now, you have to admit, and I could be wrong, 40%, somewhere between 30 and 40%, maybe more, are probably fundamentally now shifting and running forward-facing sonar, live scope, active targeting as a primary strategy for their fishing and their angling tournament strategy. In a year from now, 2 years from now, probably 75 or 80%. Okay? I don't know. But if you're a co-angler, you get a draw, right? You get drawn on your days who you're fishing with. Okay? And different events do it differently, but basically, you get drawn on who you're fishing with. There's a 75% chance you're going to draw a live scope, forward-facing sonar angler, possibly from Texas, okay? Florida, wherever, okay, in these events. And it's probably the most difficult experience anyone could possibly ever have on the water as an angler, is being a co-angler or just going out for the day and you're on the back of the deck. So that's what I was doing, mates. That's what I've been doing. That's what I will continue to do for the rest of the summer. For the rest of the summer, if I am on the tidal Potomac, I will be on the back of the boat. Because that's where I hopefully will be later this year on the Potomac River. Not in control. Tell the boater flat out, pay for the gas, pay for lunch, pay for breakfast, pay for everything, okay? But you do you, man. Exactly the way you would do it if you were fishing this fishery in a tournament, major tournament with $100,000 on the line, okay? How would you go out there and fish with your live scope forward facing sonar and you go do that? And then I'm going to freaking react to that, okay? Because that's inevitably how a lot of co-anglers, if you're fishing a Toyota series or even some of the bass, BFLs, that's where it's moving to. And if you've ever done it, it's not fun, okay? It's not fun, all right? It's one thing to be fishing used water, right? It's another thing the way they position the boats for forward-facing sonar to be right on top of a brush pile or right on top of something and dropping right on down, okay? And you're on the back of the boat. You're 20 feet. Think about it that way. Boats, 17 to 21 feet bass boats, right? You're 20 feet away from that brush pile on the back of the boat. Okay? So what are you gonna be fishing? So you're gonna have to figure out how to go and about targeting probably a solitary fish. So that's what it's been about. If I'm not fishing for smallies, if I'm on the tidal Potomac, it's from the back of the deck, trying to figure out that technique and that strategy and presentations and utilizing one rod, okay? A few baits with one rod and not complicated, because it is you draw a live scope, active target, forward-facing sonar angler, and you are a co-angler, and you talk to anyone who's ever done that, okay, and you just go out wherever you want to go out with a guy who's fishing that way, and you're on the back of the boat, you're going to know what I'm saying. It can be the most frustrating day ever on the water. Because if you go out on the boat, if I take the boat out and I go fishing and I get skunked, that's on me. Like, I went to those places. I went to that creek and ran to DC and went down, went in Powell's Creek and bounced in, hit the railroad pilings, then went out to the main channel of Belmont Bay and friggin' went glide bait or swim bait fishing. I made that decision and I skunked. That's on me. But when someone else is running a boat and you're at their mercy and they're going where they want to go, you got to adapt. I don't care what anybody says. I have the utmost respect for anyone who co-angles on any circuit. I think it's the hardest freaking thing in fishing. I honestly do. And I think it's just getting harder and harder and harder. So when a guy is up on that stage and he's a co-angler in 2023 and he drops a 15 spot, an 18 spot, a 20 spot, a largemouth bass up on that scale, that's saying something, people. That is saying something about that cat's ability, because it is not easier to be a co-angler in 2023. I actually think, mates, it's extremely harder than it's ever been. A lot of it due to technology. Now, some boaters will set it up for both graphs, but still, okay, and the reality of it is it's a totally different ball game now. Adapting, in my opinion, to that versus a decade ago, being on the back of the boat. So let me know what your opinion is. This is my opinion. It's an efficiency of mine of being able to get in that right mindset and downsizing everything and just going with, and being able to drop shot and being able to do those things, run a Carolina rig, run a drop shot, simple presentations, that I normally would not throw if I was running the tidal Potomac by myself, right? But as a co-angler, you got to overcome and you got to adapt to every situation. And I think that right now, and talking to a lot of guys, and talking to different guys at different levels, that fishies like, club series and just local stuff, local trail series and club series, and then also guys that have fished, the bass or MLF. It's a totally different game now, mates. And I don't know if anybody's talking about it, but I'm trying to get ahead of the game, trying to figure it out so I don't have one of those really, really frustrating days on the water as a co-angler. All right, mates.